Hey everyone, welcome to this May 11th vlog. I know yesterday was Mother's Day for a lot of the moms and of the Latin American culture, Spanish culture. So happy belated Mother's Day to you. And I know Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. The plan, hopefully, if things go right, is for me and my family to go see my grandma in Haywood. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. But anyway, whew, oh man, I tell you, when you know a holiday is coming up, whether or not it's a major holiday, semi-major, or whatever, or a tributional holiday, tributional basically meaning like Mother's Day and Father's Day, basically being the fact that you're paying tribute to your parents. I tell you, retail stores, when they get busy, they get crazy busy. Especially when one of those days you're working on, like I said, is the Latin American version of Mother's Day. Yeah, the Spanish-Mexican equivalent of it. And they say it was busy yesterday. Ay, 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 ay. I mean, at first it didn't seem like it was going to be that busy, but all of a sudden it just picked up and picked up and picked up, and it's like, what the heck was going on? What did these people do? What did these people do? Last minute shopping? Obviously. Last minute gift shopping, grocery shopping? Obviously. It's like, I couldn't understand it. And if that's not enough, Spanish Mother's Day not only falls on the Wednesday, not only falls on a Wednesday this year, but coincidentally it ends up falling on the every other Wednesday that the kids in Patterson School District get to be let out early. Whether it's at 12:30, 2:30, what have you. They get to be let out early by at least 2 hours, by at least 3 hours or 2 hours. At least 3 hours or 1 hour or whatever it is. They get let out early. And, oh boy. Obviously these kids, when they get let out early, I mean, here's the thing. It gets bad during regular days, yes, when they get out at regular times, but it's not as bad because, you know, they don't have so much time on their hands. In fact, it's like a co-worker of mine or co-associate of mine said in the lounge room that these kids should be doing one thing before they do anything else. Instead of heading to the hangout, which our store has become, in a sense, they need to get their butts home first, do the homework, do the chores, then possibly go out with their friends. But you know why kids probably won't do that, even though that's the correct thing to do? It's because they know if they follow that method, those teenagers and those kids follow that method, you know what they know what's going to happen? Not only are they going to have to do that homework, which could be a lot of homework, like a paperwork, typing it up, research, whatever, and then maybe doing chores on top of that, what's going to happen as a result is it's going to tire them out. It's going to tucker them out. They're not going to want to go out. They're going to want to stay home. And they know that. These kids know that. And they don't want to do that because then it's like, oh great, our parents got control again. Now we can't do anything. We're stuck doing this. Guess what? Maybe that's for the best. Because here's the thing. Kids nowadays, I'm not saying kids are not respectful. I've had tons of customers, thousands of customers in the past 3 years. Past 3.5 years now almost, that I've worked at that store, that have come through my lines, that I've encountered, that have been friendly, courteous, and helpful. And I thank God for the parents that raised them like that. But then on the opposite side of things, you have kids They run roughshod. They ride the mart carts when they're not supposed to. They trash the store in a sense. They start playing with the basketballs, riding on little scooters. Stuff like that that just annoys the heck out of me and my fellow associates. There's not one time that I won't walk by every other Wednesday, not next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, like yesterday. I will not walk by, or another associate of mine won't walk by, and they will see kids riding around on little tricycles that we're trying to sell. Or riding around on something, doing something that we have to report to AP about, our security, our store security about, or we have customers come to us and say, hey, these kids are doing that. They're running roughshod. It drives us completely crazy because you know what they're doing? They are ruining inventory for our store, and by ruining that inventory, we gotta claim it, and thus that makes us lose money as for our store as a whole, even though we're only like a small percentage of a worldwide conglomerate. It makes us lose money. And all because what? These kids don't have any other place to hang out with? Or hang out at? You know, they got a place called the Patterson Teen Center across the way, across from the park. They don't want to hang out there? They got to hang out at our store? It's like I tell people my job. And I tell customers sometimes that understand our plight. It's like these teenagers every other Wednesday and sometimes on regular days will turn Walmart into a wall mall. We do not have a second story. We do not have an escalator. We do not have an elevator. We don't have any of that thing. We don't have a freaking food court or an arcade. I don't understand these kids. I don't understand them. And on top of that, yesterday I come back from lunch. or at least walking around trying to record something, which I may have to re-record today. But I come back and I see my zone managing supervisor, the front end zone managing supervisor, and two assistant managers. One is the front end assistant manager, and the other that kind of shares that duty as well, but also is kind of in between. It's kind of she's more of the electronics. She's kind of both the electronics, apparel, front end manager. Well, basically, she's just, I think she's kind of like, she's not the main front end manager, but she helps out when she has to. But anyway, I see them standing outside the door, outside of the store, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? And the ZMS says something that these kids are doing something, and it's not going to be on her watch. And the front end assistant walks towards where I guess something was happening. What happens is they decide to freaking set a trash can on fire. And I'm not just talking, I'm not just talking the trash can goes up in flames. No, they decide to turn it. They basically decide to start a fire in a trash can. What? Because they're bored? You know what? This is why sometimes I wish they wouldn't. This is sometimes why I wish California law. Excuse me. This is sometimes why I wish the California law wouldn't have passed that ruling that allows kids every other week on certain days to get out early. I wish they would have just negated that and kept the kids in school. Because I notice when they have a full day of school, they're not as rambunctious. I'm not saying they don't cause trouble, but they're not as rambunctious. And here's the thing. Every other Wednesday, or every other week, somebody has to go over on, somebody has to call out over the intercom, um, for security to check certain places in the store. More so than they should. Because these kids take advantage of our busyness. They take advantage of the fact that if we're not looking, they'll mess around with stuff. Or if we're not looking, they'll take something like, let's say, a Yu-Gi-Oh pack. Like, let's say this, which I'm going to do a video opening in a little bit. They'll take a package like this, open it up, take the cards out, and they'll leave it empty. It's like... And then, oh, on top of that, even our deli and our bakery don't survive. Because apparently the kids go in there, they open up the donut they open up the, what is it? They open up the doors to the donut case where you buy donuts individually, or as many donuts as you need, and they just take them and eat them and go. You don't pay for them, nothing. It's like, they take bread. I don't know, they open up the bread packs, something, they take bread, they eat that, they go. We are getting, here's the thing, each and every one of us at that store, from the janitors, to the cop pushers, to the cashiers, to on the floor, to the assistants, to the CSMs, to the DSMs, the assistants. We are getting sick and tired of these kids running roughshod on our store, and it needs to end. We're sick and tired of this crap. It needs to end. These kids need to go to that freaking teen center. That's why it's in town. Stay there or go home where they belong and be done with it, or go freaking try out for freaking sports or do something. Because we are getting sick and tired of this to no end. And we have security, yes, but they can only do so much. So my suggestion is we get the local Stanislaus County Sheriff Department in Patterson to drive around that store, walk around that store. That way it deters those kids. Those kids will be like, "Oh, sheriffs are here. Let's go that way, or let's leave the store." It'll deter them to go someplace else. Because if you ain't in there to buy something, you don't belong. You're not in there to buy something, at least. Then I kindly suggest they leave. Because obviously they have no respect. They have no respect for me as a cashier. They have no respect for any of the other cashiers. They have no respect for any other on-floor associates that are probably there from the break of dawn. They have no respect for our assistants, no respect for our store manager, nothing. And we are getting sick and tired of it. We are sick and tired of it, and it needs to end. I understand summer's coming up. I understand school's about to be let out. Guess what? That's still no freaking excuse. These kids, they need to wake up and realize that Walmart, the Walmart Supercenter, is not a freaking mall. It's not your personal hangout. It is a retail store where people come to shop. So unless you're going to come in there and shop, don't come in. Look, I understand these kids need a place to hang out at, but there's places called parks. There are places called, oh, I don't know, McDonald's, Little Caesars, Burger Kings, Panda Expresses, Subways, Domino's. There's places. Blues Cafes. There's places. We're not the only ones. We're not the only place to hang out at. The only reason we're a major target is because we're part of a massive worldwide chain of stores. Guess what? That ends now. Well, that needs to end now. It needs to end! But you know what's funny? That's not the only thing that was crazy about yesterday. And this is another thing that's been frustrating me for the past several years. And it's not just me, but it's my other cashiers and my other fellow associates that have to come up there and cashier. Even my even the assistant manager sometimes have to do it, and the CSMs. You know what frustrates us to no end? Besides that, is the fact that when we turn off our freaking lights to our registers that we're working on, and if we're somebody that's supposed to be on the sales floor, working in a department, working inventory, or making sure it's all neat and tidy or whatever, or if we're an assistant manager that needs to go be someplace else, so keep an eye on certain sections of the store, as well as the same with a CMS and a ZMS. And they're only there temporarily. Do people not understand that when the light is off on a register, that register is closed. It is closed. It is done. Finito. History. Do they not understand that? Do they not get that? Huh? Do they not understand that when a register's light is closed, it's closed? I mean, it's off, that it's closed. That light means register is done. History. Do they not get that? I mean, what is it? Are people so used to shopping at other stores where there's no lights at the registers, but they're used to seeing people there in line saying, oh, that line's open because it's got people in it. Let's go over there. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. No, we're not like that. Unless necessary. Unless there are lines that are massive, and we have done this on occasions, we will open a lane, but we won't turn on the light due to the fact that all we're doing is helping to cut that line down. That's all we're doing. We're not there. The people that go to the registers and do that are not there to be there permanently. They're not there to be there for the rest of the day. We're not like we're not robots. We're not like, here, let me take you, here, how you doing? We're not robots, people. We're human beings. And those customers, with all due respect, need to understand that. They need to understand that we are human beings, and they have to understand, oh, the light's off. The lane's closed. Oops. Oh, well, go to another lane. Do-do-do-do. These people need to understand. And look, yes, I am venting here, and I have a right to vent. So does anybody else on YouTube. Okay? Angry Joe vents at YouTube's policies. So does Lynn Cara. So does Pat Cortair. So does James Wolfe. Doug Walker. Everybody has a chance to vent. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not venting at YouTube. No. I appreciate YouTube giving us the floor and the podium to do this on. I'm venting at the fact I am sick